Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Think Clinical Podcast. My name is Hamza. Always amazing to be here, and we've been going through a couple of very unfamiliar topics recently, and today is going to be one of those days that we go through another very unfamiliar topic, but this opens up conversations because this is where the world is leading to, and we need to be on top of what the trend looks like right now. Today we'll be looking at the Web3 healthcare wave. What we'll be looking at is healthcare data democracy. Like, how do you decentralize networks and patient-owned healthcare models? How do they inform the general space? This is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm your host, Hamza, and please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we will get right to it. But before we start this whole thing, I have to ask you a couple of questions. Now, the questions I'll ask you is for you to gain a deep understanding of what we're going to be talking about today is that, what if you could sell your own healthcare data directly to pharma companies or research institutions while still retaining full control over who accesses it? What if that was an option? What if clinical trials were managed by decentralized communities instead of large corporations? And this is what the Web3 healthcare wave is all about. Now, what does that mean? When we talk about Web3, it's a decentralized version of the internet that is built on blockchain technology, where data ownership, transaction, and governance are distributed across the network rather than controlled by centralized corporations like Google, like Facebook, and all these other corporations. That's what Web3 is trying to do. Which means that it enables smart contracts, which is self-executing agreements where you have control over it, and tokenized incentives, which are like digital rewards. I'll talk about what tokenization is, and it allows patients to control their medical data and be compensated if it's ever used for any form of research or any form of R&D or any development of any new product by pharmaceutical companies. Now, we've been hearing blockchain. Now, blockchains are just decentralized digital ledgers that records transactions securely and transparently across multiple nodes. So in healthcare, blockchain would ensure immutability, which is data cannot be altered, and they also help traceability. So there are two things blockchain will give you as an advantage, which is immutability. In that case, you cannot just alter somebody's healthcare information, and it also gives you the ability to be able to trace that information, because all access will be logged. Once you log in, it's going to be accessible. Now we talk about tokenization, which is the process of converting the right to an asset like your healthcare data into a digital token that can be traced or monetized on a blockchain. So you are trying to use that right you have to that asset, which is your healthcare data in that case, into a digital token that can be traded or monetized on the blockchain. That's just what it means. So these are new conversations that are coming up, and it allows patients to receive their financial incentives for contributing data to research and clinical trials. So you have control over your data, you have control over who accesses it. It's no longer the arms of these big corporations who are using wearable devices to collect all this massive information, and whatever they do with that data, nobody knows. Again, you have control over it. You get tokenized rewards for those, and you're able to monetize who or what your contributions are to the clinical trials that have been done out there. Now, why does Web3 matter? First of all, we have the situation of data fragmentation, which is just we have data that is currently stored in silos in various electronic healthcare records. That's what is happening now. But patients have little control over this data. So that's one advantage of this Web3, where the data becomes decentralized instead of being stored in some electronic healthcare system that nobody or patients don't even have access or control over. Now, 70% of patients have reported that they have difficulty even when they want to transfer their own data records from these electronic healthcare records to another between providers. So if I have a primary care provider and I have to go in for a specialist visit and my information needs to be transferred, and I've experienced this personally, and it becomes a nightmare for like 70%, is a huge number, to have this problem. Secondly, data privacy concerns. Now, there are high-profile data breaches. So 78 million patient records from Anthem in 2023, for instance, is a big issue. And this is where blockchain is coming in. And this decentralized, controlled data management is what is making it it's reducing these vulnerabilities to data storage. Now, the third thing is inequitable data monetization, which means that the pharma companies can generate billions of dollars from patient data, but patients receive no compensation. This is my information that I should be using, but other people are benefiting from using my information to develop these new items that I have no benefit over. So these are some of the advantages of Web3. It introduces the possibility of direct patient compensation for data contribution. Now, when we look at the case study of Patientory, Patientory was founded in 2017, and it's a decentralized healthcare data marketplace which has over 500,000 users. Now, this was built on an Ethereum blockchain, and it allows patients to store and control access to their own medical records, which means the 70% of patients who are not sure how to get even their records transferred between one provider and another, they're able to control their own records, and they're able to transmit it if they need to. And the Patientory reduced data access time for clinical trials by 65% and cut costs by 40% just through direct patient involvement. Now, how does it work? The patient stores their own information in the blockchain. Researchers request access through smart contracts. Patient sets access terms and receive compensation through these tokens. And all transactions are logged immutably on the blockchain. So this, it puts the patient directly in control of whatever or whoever they are supposed to have access to. What does the impact look like? You are reducing clinical trial costs by about 30%, which is the data in the market. You've increased data security, so there are zero breaches since launch. Zero breaches. And you've created a new revenue stream for even the patient who owns that information, and they're able to determine whether or not they want to contribute that information to science or to clinical trials. Now, how do monetizing patient, how do you monetize these patient-centric models? So what if your healthcare data was treated like intellectual property? What is it? This is your intellectual property in essence, where you own the rights and you get compensated for the using it. So that's where things like HealthWiz comes in, which allows patients to aggregate their electronic healthcare data from multiple providers into a single app. You use this so these are ideas of companies as a healthcare provider that you can build in the space of Web3. You can build decentralizing patient information, because HealthWiz, all it does is that it taps information from the different electronic healthcare records, the dental history, your history from your primary provider, history from a specialist, and aggregates everything to a single app. And it uses blockchain to secure it and tokenize your data. So patients can sell access. They can give access to pharmacists if they think, okay, this is going to help whatever I'm doing in the future. What's the impact? Again, direct financial transaction participation in research by 45%, because now people are more inclined to voluntarily give their information out than you taking information without their consent. And reduce clinical trial recruitment costs by 30%, because people feel a part of that innovation. And patients increase participation in research by 45%, which is because they are part of it. When you look at these innovations that have come up to decentralize patient data and give patients more control, it's a huge, and it's becoming a huge innovative space in the blockchain space. We have so many of these that are on the market now. When you think about this, you can also think about building a hybrid decentralized clinic, which means that you can look at things like Forward Health, which combines AI-driven telehealth with decentralized health bots in pharmacy. And patients schedule AI-guided health checkups and store data in blockchain. So the opportunities here are huge, and for you to be able to do. Use and make sure that when you are going into this space, you use zero knowledge proofs. Allow data verification without revealing sensitive information. That's the first thing. The second one you need to look at is that you need to partner with decentralized storage providers. So find those decentralized storage providers that will be able to give you the infrastructure, the framework to be able to partner effectively. You need to involve patient representatives and clinical experts in decision making when you are building platforms like this. Again, regulation, compliance should be at the forefront. HIPAA and GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation, make sure you are very, very well aligned with what the requirements of these are. Again, look at this and ask yourself whether blockchain would let seniors, for instance, who are on retirement, profit from their healthcare data. They decide whether or not they want to be part of any research or they want to be part of the development of a product. Let them make that decision. Again, this has been another very exciting episode of the Think Clinical podcast. Think through this and let us know what your thoughts are around the space of Web3, around the space of decentralized patient data, innovations that can help you decentralize patient data on blockchain, innovations that give patients direct control over their own information, that help patients to monetize their information and contribute to science, that help patients want to participate in clinical research voluntarily, thereby cutting non-participatory percentages. You let us know what your thoughts are and what innovations could be built around this. Again, another very exciting episode of the Think Clinical podcast. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we will see you again.